私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理じゃなかった。
On a random bright sunny day, all is looking good in WataNare land as we see Ajisai heading out on a trip. Oh, but what's this? A surprise appearance in this bonus chapter? It's Renako, the star herself. Just like us, Ajisai is pretty confused running into her oblivious crush, and it seems Renako herself is wandering without much direction. But what is a journey if you're alone? Renako seems to think the same, as she's randomly decided to follow Ajisai. The cute confession has Ajisai feeling things as she grabs the loner girl's hands. It seems she's sorry for making Renako worry, but thankfully, Renako doesn't seem to mind whatever this is, not like she has anything else to do. In comparison, a trip with Ajisai seems like a dream come true. Hearing such another cute confession, Ajisai goes in for an angelic embrace, with Renako's hand acting out in a quite suspicious manner. Once again, Ajisai thanks Renako, and we, as usual, have no clue what's going on. What happened to Ajisai? What is this about a trip? Are we finally getting some Renako-Ajisai action? Tune in to find out.
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理じゃなかった。
With people watching and lights flashing, Mai Otsuka is traversing the runway. Her fingers, her hair, everything about her is made to charm others. And, of course, that includes the awestruck Renako. But what is Renako even doing in this crowded event? Well, it seems she came at the invitation of Mai. Once again, Renako is shocked by the fact that such an amazing girl is her friend. Speaking of, here she is, Mai herself in all her dressed up glory. In her panicked state, Renako gives Mai all the compliments she can think of. As cool as ever, Mai just smiles and talks about how she herself is nervous, with Renako looking at her during the show. Understandably, Renako is also worried if it's even fine for Mai to be talking to her during the event, but all is according to plan in this posh event. In fact, it's her job to treat the guests during this time with her charming beauty. Renako's heart goes thumping seeing Mai's expression as if she's watching her band boyfriend go on stage. Doubly dangerous, Mai also senses Renako falling for her, so she puts on the pressure further. Thankfully for Renako, she defends well, calling her cool, along with professing a slightly growing love in the process. Mai finds it amusing how stubborn Renako is being expressing her love. She does say she's trying her best though, and that prompts Mai to give her earnest and lovely thanks. Unfortunately, lover time is over, as Mai needs to attend to other guests as well. Renako then comments on how busy Mai's supposed summer vacation is starting to look. It's a real shame considering Mai's promise for a fun vacation back on their wedding day. What wedding, you may ask? Well, Renako doesn't know either, as she can only pity the delusional fool in front of her. She comforts Mai by telling her she's always here to talk in whatever way she wants. Hearing this, Mai can't help but give a tight hug to her overly cute lover. It really did wonders for her Renako meter, giving her the strength to do her best moving forward. And once again, Mai starts yapping about setting their legal marriage, which Renako isn't having any of, especially since Renako can't stay out late today. That's right, the fever dream of an Ajisai arc is real, and it's here. But wait, how did Mai know about that? Whatever the case, it seems Mai isn't being fussy about it, even showing remorse that she couldn't come along. Renako takes the free win and simply tells Mai that they should hang out again later. With a true face of a heroine, Mai starts saying her goodbyes and tells Mai to enjoy her time with Ajisai. After all, Ajisai is Mai's friend too, and she wishes nothing but the best for her. Seeing how sincere Mai is being, Renako feels a bit bad to leave her out. But no more time for regrets, all she can do is wish Mai good luck with her work. Once again, Mai flashes a smile of main character proportions while also doing everything in her power to charm little Renako. It seemed to have worked too, as Renako is all flushed with her heart thumping as Mai walks away. It's almost like she's in love. But just then, someone right beside her speaks up on the exchange. Startling Renako, a short twin-tailed beauty straight from the 2000s is standing right beside her. Naturally, Renako can't help but wonder who this is. The girl looks not a day older than 20. Is she perhaps being replaced as the manga's heroine? Not knowing how to approach things, Renako attempts to communicate with the beauty. First up, she decides to answer the girl's initial inquiry about her relationship with Mai. Renako just says they're classmates. Strangely, she's not content with just that, asking how close the two are. Awkwardly, Renako says it's not some sort of one-sided friendship. She continues to embarrassingly say that Mai may even consider her very important. But it's then that the girl suddenly speaks up with quite a lewd question.
So, have you two done it yet?
Renako can't believe her ears. Is this girl even listening to her? There's no way she can have a lover. The twin-tailed beauty then starts talking about something changing within Mai and how it's important for her to know the reason for that. She then continues to ask like a creepy old man if it was Renako or Mai who initiated the lewd deeds. Of course, Renako denies all allegations. Despite the forward language, the twin-tailed beauty seems to quickly let go of the discussion, simply leaving Renako with a calling card and telling her she can always ask for help. In addition, she seems to have a Sigma grind set schedule, so she can even answer Renako's calls if the timings align. Sometime later, Renako is now riding the train home, contemplating the comical meeting she had and the flashy card she now has. Reading the name printed on it, Renako seems to have some familiarity with the name. Pulling out a magazine she got from the show, the truth is revealed. It was Mai Otsuka's mother, Renee Otsuka. Renako can't help but start to fear the Otsuka family, but it matters not, for she's finally back in her comforting home. Unfortunately for her, it seems her little sister has a couple of friends over. Renako tries her best to exercise her world-renowned home-sneaking ability, but her sister quickly finds her. Now there's no escaping socialization as her sister's friends, who look like characters from a different manga, make an appearance. The cheery-looking gal girl takes Renako by her arm, letting her know how special she is. But that's when she mentions Renako's friend and lover, Mai. It seems it wasn't her that's special, but her friendship with Mai. As the cheery gal tries to shoot her shot, Renako starts to shoot a glare at her own sister. Unfortunately, she seems to have great pride in her sister's famous social circle. Looks like the apple didn't fall too far from the tree in that regard. Hearing the little sister gas up Renako, the gal even asks if she happens to be a model herself, just like Mai. Renako evades the question with glowing pride in her face as her little sister does a spit take at the assumption. She follows up by falling to the ground, laughing hysterically, which prompts veins to grow on Renako's forehead. Pulling out the same magazine as earlier from her bag, Renako then proceeds to show off the fashion show she had just come home from. The cool-looking short-haired girl suddenly takes up a new, lively personality at the mention of the famous fashion show. The gal and the sister also go along, filling Renako with further gas as they big up her accomplishment of proximity. The cool girl then yaps about the importance of the fashion show, going on about how high-class and special the designer is. Renako takes the chance to walk away, but her carelessness leads to a card falling from her magazine. The gal picks it up for her, but then it turns out it's the very business card from earlier, Renee Otsuka's. The trio then starts yapping about her fame, showing Renako once and for all how insignificant her existence is. She simply can't compete with the Otsuka name. From this, she's able to finally retreat to her solitude, slumping tired onto her bed. Unfortunately, even the bed isn't enough to give sleep to the poor girl, who starts rolling around anxiously, stressing over what's already come to pass. But then, as if an angel reached out from heaven, she received a message from Ajisai, asking about their meetup. Renako basks in the peaceful air the Ajisai message brought her, but just as quickly as peace came, anxiety struck once again, making her wonder if it's really right for her to take up the time of such an angel. However, it's not like she can call in sick all of a sudden. That would just make Ajisai needlessly worry. Whatever the case, anxiety is clearly eating at Renako as she cries about the prospect of meeting Ajisai again instead of staying home like a worm playing games. In the end, she resolves to send an okay with an exclamation point. Renako thanks the stars for the development of technology that allows her to feign human emotion. Later on, Renako is eating some good old chicken. Evidently, her sister is still feeling the afterglow of having a popular sister. Following up from earlier, Renako's little sister asks her about the request her friend made about her phone number. Surprisingly, Renako shows great maturity, actually denying the request. She explains how immature and irresponsible it would be to take advantage of someone else's achievement like that. Hearing this harsh truth, her little sister is stung deep, and so the two return to their usual bantering selves. The next day, the sun is bright and shining, while Renako is as dead and gloomy as ever since she ended up sleeping late because of her extreme worry. Riding the train, Renako even feels a bad rumble in her tummy. She contemplates whether she perhaps should have canceled today after all. Inside her head, her insecurities get louder, and Renako even imagines a hot, evil version of Ajisai laughing at her. The simple fact is, she doesn't want Ajisai to dislike her. Ranako's scared of showing her bad side. If she had canceled and run away, at least the bad outcome would have been delayed. Despite the work she put into her makeup and bangs, she just can't help but worry about what could be. Just as she was regretting not spending even more time getting ready, Ajisai appeared to greet her. As expected, she's cute as hell. All of Renako's worries just explode away as she gushes over the sight before her, her exposed arms, her frilly dress top, and even her glorious toes. Ajisai is just way too awesome for Renako's little heart. The epitome of perfection. Renako starts bombarding Ajisai with verbal compliments as if it's the first time Ajisai's looked this way. But now that Renako's thinking about it, Ajisai has always been an angel of cuteness. She also thinks back on her recent outing with Mai after so long. Renako's actually been going out with some really incredible beauties, putting up double peace signs. Ajisai accepts the praise as good as any deity of cuteness can. The spectacle gets Renako thinking Ajisai is some global warming immune angel who manages to stay well kept. But then, Ajisai cuts in to announce a big reveal. Considering they haven't met up in a while, she'd actually tried a bit harder to look good today. Admitting this has Ajisai feeling a bit embarrassed. Renako tries to comfort her, but is unable to deny that, weirdly, such an incredibly cute girl is still trying to look even more cute. This sudden comment has Ajisai confused, and Renako can only drown in her own insane reality. Renako even starts talking about how Ajisai could potentially be some sort of fairy just for her to see. As the two start to walk around, Renako can't help but laugh at how worried she was earlier. How could anyone not have fun around Ajisai? She resolves to just try her best to do her very best for today, ensuring Ajisai has some amazing fun too. Finally, the summer vacation is starting to look as sweet as promised. To this day, Renako's little sister still giggles at the memory of her friend, assuming Renako could be a model.
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなかった。
After having cleaned some rooms in the house, baked a cheesecake, and even finished dressing and making up, Ajisai is looking as perfect as she'll ever be. Though perhaps even a girl like her can have a strand or two out of place now and then. It's apparently been 2 months since the chapter Ajisai and Renako made the promise to visit the former's house. Ajisai, feeling a bit spicy, can't help but look back on how cute Renako was at the time. Such thoughts are no good, however, so Ajisai shakes away the naughty thoughts in her head. She then starts preaching about how great promises are as she looks at the mirror like some villain. What's important to take away, though, is that Renako is one who kept her promise. This is why Ajisai is excited. This is why her heart beats. Clearly, there is no other reason besides that. Stepping outside her house, Ajisai takes in the great weather and beautiful day ahead of her. With an angelic smile between her flushed cheeks, Ajisai Sena is about to go through her very first love story arc.
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなかった。
So, the time has finally come. Renako has finally landed at the house of the angel Ajisai. And now, she's even given a chance to sit upon the very same sofa Ajisai's butt has touched. Showing proper hospitality, Ajisai offers her a selection of drinks. Though Renako's heart is beating so hard, she can hardly think of wanting anything. In the end, she resorts to orange juice. Looking around, Renako appreciates the space in which Ajisai grew up. She looks at every little thing, from the scratch on the wall to the textbooks on the desk. Eventually, Ajisai returns with a drink in hand, breaking Renako away from her trance. Ajisai also has with her the game they had talked about before, inviting Renako for a proper game this time. The coming of the promised day has Ajisai excited, but thankfully for the girl with a thumping heart, she remembers the importance of small talk. However, maybe Renako spoke too soon, as the first question Ajisai throws at her is quite a troubling one. In regards to what she's been doing recently, Mai's fashion show is hard to mention as no one else besides her was invited, and so she resorts to talking about her introverted life of sleep, games, and sleeping under the air conditioning. Ajisai then asks about her homework progress, to which Renako says she's about halfway done and stuck on math. In their newfound alliance against math, the two girls manage to get into a fun, natural discussion, something Renako can't believe she's actually capable of. She starts to contemplate how this is all thanks to the divine aura of Ajisai. Speaking of the divine, for some reason, Renako starts gawking at her arms and thinks about how incredibly soft they must be. Fortunately, though, she's able to snap out of it and starts begging to be saved from further temptation, but that's when Ajisai drops another hard-hitting question about having a part-time job. Hearing the question, Renako loudly denies any ability to do so. Thinking about it, Renako can't imagine how she'd be able to handle any sort of work that involves dealing with customers. Ajisai kinda just ignores it though, saying that she could for sure do it. Though she does quickly remember how bad Renako is with boys, Renako gloomily agrees to this, clarifying in her head that it's only with proper men, as there's no way she even deserves to be looked at by them. She starts thinking about the type she's okay interacting with, such as little kids or even sleazy men, though after thinking for a second, she realizes the second type is pretty scary after all. Suddenly, Renako realizes her horrified eyes were being stared at by Ajisai. Because of this, she quickly tries to explain that it's not like she's actually traumatized by some horrific incident. She's just a loser girl, and she hasn't had many opportunities to talk to guys. In addition, men are such an alien creature to women, how would you even start talking to them? Ajisai then starts to question things, as surely boys do talk to her. Renako agrees, mentioning the one robot she talks to in phone stores. Besides that, the only time boys approach her is when she's with Ajisai, Mai, or Kaho. After all, the three angels are the only ones in their group who actually hang out with boys. Satsuki, meanwhile, doesn't talk to anyone at all, giving Renako much needed comfort. Is she perhaps a background character? Setting the thought aside, Renako asks Ajisai what exactly she talks about with boys. Apparently, they just talk about simple stuff, like movies, friends, and other stuff like that. Looking at the box of toys of Ajisai's brothers, it makes perfect sense why she's adept at boy language, but the main point to take away from all this is that there isn't any specific reason why Renako is bad with boys. Also, while spending time with the angelic trio, she's surely gonna improve in that field naturally. Ajisai then comments she'd surely get popular once she starts talking to boys, a fact Renako is adamant is not the case. If a boy does confess to her, it's inevitably just a case of her being a backup option. As it turns out, in the My Wikipedia page, Renako is actually classified as a convenient target after rejection, as she's a significantly more ordinary girl while still being affiliated with the Angelic Four. Remembering the words in the slanderous wiki, Renako can't help but curse them in her head. It's then that Ajisai suddenly mentions wanting to try a part-time job herself. Renako is surprised by this, but Ajisai asks if it's really that surprising. After thinking for a bit, Renako does agree it actually makes perfect sense. Just imagining all the jobs that would be perfect for a being like Ajisai, Renako can't help but be excited. Ajisai then reveals she's aiming to work for an apparel store, an idea Renako is quite fascinated by. Renako continues to say how she'll be just like those people who bother her when you're just looking around and perusing. Ajisai retorts that it's not like they try to bother people, they simply approach in a friendly manner, asking if you need assistance. The angelic smile Ajisai did while saying that has Renako fearing for her popularity in such a line of work. She starts imagining a scenario of a crazed stalker who gets the wrong idea from her kindness. All this gets Renako to gently suggest a different line of work to Ajisai. Unfortunately, the other job she had in mind was being a server in a bar, and Renako nearly explodes at the mention of this. There's no way Ajisai can work in an environment with drunken dudes and other handsome dudes working while looking for prey. Renako then starts to doom plan about how she wants Ajisai in a bread factory, where she wears a mask all day, and her beauty can be hidden in isolation as she spends her days working alone. But this is when a brilliant idea appears in Renako's mind. Ajisai could work at Queen Donut. It's a place where Ajisai's safety is all but assured. Why is that? Well, it's because it's the same place Satsuki works. It's a genius idea from Renako, even as the ghost of Satsuki starts choking her in response. The girls there are even proficient in firearms. Probably, Satsuki is there after all. Renako's funny lines have Ajisai cracking up, but she then reveals she doesn't actually have time for a part-time gig. As it's summer vacation, she'll have to spend her days watching over her brothers in place of her mother. Renako is a bit bummed by this, but Ajisai explains that this is just how it's always been. Still, Renako can't help but think. Seeing how bummed Renako is, Ajisai breaks the awkwardness by starting game time. Meanwhile, inside her own head, Renako is thinking about how she feels nervous when others talk about family circumstances. In her case, her family is as right as rain, and while she does bicker with her sister, she's still blessed overall. You can't choose family, so it is likely that Ajisai at least has some trouble in that regard. But what is this? Renako has no time to be thinking about such things. All of a sudden, a small figure starts walking behind her. Oh, it's a little boy? Renako immediately recognizes him as Ajisai's brother, as he does resemble her quite a bit. This development has Renako suddenly feeling like a big sister character. Is this her chance? Well, no, it isn't. Now Renako is as salty as ever, seeing how much the little brother can indulge in Ajisai's legs. Brimming with jealousy, Renako curses the little boy behind her crazed eyes. Now, her desire to be a big sister to the kid is for a totally different, more salty reason. Ajisai then welcomes her other younger brother, who also wants to play. She presents the two boys to Renako, asking them to introduce themselves. Renako looks upon the younglings, commenting on how they're specimens of superior genetics, beings she could never hope to even understand. For a second, she even considers prostrating before the divinity in front of her. Ajisai proceeds to give her brothers warnings, making them promise not to get in the way of her time with Renako. The four sit together on the couch, the pair of girls understanding what they have to work with now with the new company. Renako resolves herself to take this opportunity to show off her cool side to Ajisai, show her exactly how mature Renako can be. Flash forward a couple of moments, Renako is riling up the two brothers as they keep taking turns losing to her supreme skills. Somehow, Renako is confused by how weak little children can be. Ajisai also cuts in to let her know she can call a timeout if they get too annoying. In fact, if she's had enough, they can go to Ajisai's room for some alone time. Of course, that line in particular has Renako lit up like a deer in headlights. What a dangerously lewd possibility to look forward to. Is it really okay? Ajisai then tells the little bros that they'll head off to the room now, but they seem adamant to keep on playing. Ajisai tries to ignore the rowdiness, letting Renako know about the cheesecake she has prepared. Renako isn't thinking clearly anymore though, drunk on her delusions about Ajisai's room. And so, Ajisai turns to her brothers, telling them they still have homework to do, but to no avail. They continue to be rowdy until... Enough! Renako is utterly spooked by what just happened. She never would have thought Ajisai was capable of letting out such an angry voice. As Ajisai is huffing and puffing from the release, she is still quite cute though. Indeed, it was definitely Ajisai who had shouted. What proceeds is Ajisai's angry lecturing of the two brothers, revealing just how much she was looking forward to her time with Renako. Renako looks towards the two brothers, worried. However, they seem very unfazed, leading her to believe that this is probably close to an everyday occurrence. Ajisai continues her angry scolding of the two, taking away their controller. Renako can only watch as a sibling fight unfolds right in front of her, a nightmare for anyone visiting a friend. Ajisai has to fight with all her might to eventually re-establish peace and quiet. Slamming the door shut, she is also clearly still in fumes, leaving Renako a bit scared as to what to do. Ajisai eventually calls out to her friend. However, with her face filled with red, she expresses her embarrassment at what she just showed Renako. On the other hand, Renako is at a complete loss as to how to respond, only able to watch Ajisai crumble into a defeated mess. Pulling herself together, Renako starts trying to comfort Ajisai, talking about her own home situation with her sister. She tries to say how such a relationship is just normal for every family out there, and so there's no reason to be ashamed. From being at school to being at home, the two selves are completely different. Renako lands the finisher, hoping to lift Ajisai's spirits. Unfortunately, ever since the incident, things have never fully recovered. Renako can only eat cheesecake with a feigned smile, pouring all the compliments she can towards Ajisai, hoping to salvage things. Sadly, it was all for naught, as Ajisai wasn't feeling any better, and the cake was tasteless to Renako's worried tongue. As Renako took bites of the homemade delicacy, worry was eating at her with a visage of something sinister taking over her complexion.
私が恋人になれるわけないじゃん。無理無理。無理じゃなかった。
After a disastrous house visit, Renako has made it back to the comfort of her own home, albeit a bit depressed. Meanwhile, her little sister is lounging around as usual to welcome her back. But seeing how Renako flops tiredly onto the sofa, the little sister's interest is piqued. This prompts her to ask about what had happened with her dear sister. She asks if something went wrong over at Ajisai's, and Renako proceeds to give her all the details she needs through a fade-out transition. Renako's little sister seems to take in the information calmly. Renako herself, meanwhile, finds herself thankful for having a sister who's so easy to talk to. Proving her attentiveness, the little sister then speaks up, saying how Ajisai must have really been looking forward to their day together. That could be the explanation as to why she was so mad after her brothers interrupted them. Renako, though, finds that hard to believe, throwing out the possibility that she was already angry with them to begin with and just snapped. But Renako's sister quickly retorts that Ajisai doesn't look like that type of gal. So naturally, this leaves only one possibility for the dense heroine, Ajisai, who probably just felt bad that she failed at being a perfect host and snapped. The little sister weakly agrees, figuring someone who's been taking care of little brothers the whole summer is likely stressed. Renako, though, can't help but wonder how exactly her sister even knows about such details. Renako's little sister then imagines a scenario where she had to take care of Renako, a funny thought, but Renako retorts that it would be the other way around, considering their age. As Renako plops on the couch, thinking about how sad Ajisai's situation is, she wonders for a moment how Ajisai truly feels about it. After all, someone like Renako wouldn't mind such a shut-in life herself. However, thinking about having to spend the whole day around her sister, it's a frustrating situation that Renako can understand. But what can Renako do but lounge around with her phone and do her best to recover her much-needed energy? Or at least that's what she intended before a call came from none other than Ajisai. Is Renako ready for a phone call with this troubled angel? Racing up to her room, Renako answers the call from Ajisai, and by the sound of things, Ajisai is feeling much more relaxed than before. As one would expect, Ajisai starts by apologizing, and Renako clumsily brushes things off. Renako also continues to describe how fun the home visit was, regardless of the incident. Hearing all this, Ajisai seems to just get sadder. Because of this, Renako's at a loss as to what to say. It's painful for her to know that Ajisai is sad because of her. She owes a lot to Ajisai as well, as she helps her out a lot at school. Now that Renako thinks about it, she's nowhere near close to resolving all her debt towards her. Putting up the brightest energy she can muster, she attempts to cheer Ajisai up as much as she can, even promising another future home visit. Unfortunately, Ajisai is just not budging. For a second, Renako even contemplates bribery. Thankfully, though, Ajisai cuts in. To Renako's surprise, Ajisai seems to have made some sort of decision on something. Of course, what else should she have expected from someone like Ajisai? Bribery is not needed with a girl such as her, and so Renako proceeds to happily ask what she has in mind, not knowing what's in store for her.
I'm going to run away from home.
As Ajisai says this with her usual bright smile, Renako is in utter shock at what she just heard. Could her ears have deceived her? Did Ajisai really just say she's running away from home with such an innocent tone? So, as it turns out, Ajisai will be leaving tomorrow on the very first train available. Understandably, Renako immediately asks what Ajisai's family thinks about this, but Ajisai sounds dead set, saying it's not like what she's doing is out of nowhere. And just like that, the phone call eventually ends as Renako quickly finds herself lying on her bed in deep thought. Even if Ajisai's act of rebellion is justified, it's still just her being stubborn. Renako can't help but think this is too out of character for her, but perhaps that itself is evidence of her stress having built up too much. With this in mind, Renako stresses herself over what she could have said to help Ajisai out. Maybe Renako could have guilt-tripped her enough to give up on the idea if she were able to say things in the right way. Ajisai is a good, empathetic girl after all. If Renako had gotten her to give up with that strategy, she might have done her best to just endure things. With a face filled with frustration, Renako can only roll around in bed imagining the many other things Ajisai and she could have done together instead. She can only quietly scream out an objection to the imagined Ajisai in her head. Thinking about the horrific possibilities, she can imagine Ajisai falling for the sweet words of a man, her summer turning into something spicy and steamy all at the same time. She also imagines how bad it would be if it were an evil man, or even worse, an evil woman. The image of some sleazy older woman taking Ajisai away becomes vivid in Renako's mind. Her paranoia reached an all-time high for the sake of her naive angelic friend, so much so that an imaginary Ajisai starts to call out. And what do you know? She's all tanned and sleazy, a true metamorphosis of character.
It's over.
Just like that, the precious friendship she just gained became corrupted, fated to break away until it's no more.
No way. I can't go to a school with no Ajisai.
It's a natural worry, as both Kaho and Mai have plenty of other friend groups to mingle with. Renako is fated to be left alone. For a moment, Renako even turns to the idea of Satsuki as a fallback girl, but there's no way she'd actually talk to her in school. Renako is left with no other choice but to shrivel into a ball with her blanket, begging Ajisai's spirit not to leave her, her biggest source of comfort, her biggest angel, in the times she's being weird and introverted. Renako ended up not sleeping a wink as she cried, up until early morning the next day. Ajisai, all dressed up and ready for an adventure, is shocked to see a familiar face in front of her. It's her, Renako, and this is exactly the scene we saw in that one bonus chapter previously. Understandably, Ajisai is curious as to what brings her here. Giving a lame excuse, Renako kind of just brushes off the question, instead continuing with a robotic tone, saying how traveling alone isn't safe. Keeping up her best poker face, Renako simply laughs as she nonchalantly asks if she can come along with Ajisai.
Is she gonna say no?
Reina-chan.
Fear envelops Renako as she hears her name called. She doesn't want to be a burden, which is why she's going about things this way. However, she has a strong reason to be here too. She wants to support her friend whom she cherishes so much. Be with her in this trying time as she's been with her all this time. Renako doesn't want to see Ajisai go away either, but if she feels like it has to be done, then what else can she do? She's resolved herself to follow Ajisai in what she chooses, to be the one who stops her from getting in trouble, to protect her from the evils of the world. It's the perfect solution. Plus, she also just wants to be beside the beautiful angel, so it all works out in the end. For a moment, Renako imagines Ajisai gleefully turning her away as a nuisance. Indeed, it'd be a pretty depressing outcome for her. Thankfully, instead of the horrific ending coming true, Ajisai simply holds Renako's hands as she tells her she's sorry for worrying her.
But are you sure?
The most adorable face ever, Renako barely survives the critical hit. Babbling like a fool, she basically says she's just a good-for-nothing stay-at-home, so this much is fine. Adding on to the damage, Ajisai goes in for a tight hug. Renako can hardly believe it. The adorable angel Ajisai is actually hugging her.
Thanks, Reina-chan.
Just like that, Ajisai and Renako got on the first train, off to their very first adventure together. But despite everything she said, Renako only has enough money for around a 3-night stay. Whatever the case, Renako resolves to protect her with her life on the line. Is this the last we're gonna see of Garu Ajisai? Well, hopefully not. She was cute as heck.
Did that leave you hanging? Check out our other works here, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.